3:30 CBS. It's A&M on the road at Tennessee. Tennessee favored by 3.5 points. A&M is 4-2 after the loss a week ago to Bama. Tennessee's 4-1 coming off a bye. Interestingly, these teams are separated by about 70 spots in terms of the current strength of schedule, for whatever that is worth. Tennessee has not really gotten into the meat of its schedule yet. I think this game in week 7 is sort of the leading edge for that. What I am hung up on in this game is something that you asked a few weeks ago. I don't remember how long ago it was, but
okay.
I don't recall if it was in one of our bonus shows out on verballers.com or if it was one of the Burning Questions episodes or one of the previous recaps. It's all been sort of a blur over the last couple of weeks, if I'm being honest. Is Joe Milton good? Is he good?
It's a worthwhile question. He hasn't thrown a ton of picks.
Is he good, or is he just Joe Milton? Who is, how is Joe Milton?
Okay, this is what we talked about in our preview. Now we're going way back into August, but we said, look, what if Hendon Hooker was just really, really good? And that combined with the system that can take advantage of what makes him really, really good ended up with an incredible, when healthy, Tennessee offense, especially with the emergence of Jalen Hyatt last year. Tennessee has since pivoted. They run the ball really well. They have a really good offensive line. They're winning in new and different and interesting ways. Their defense seems to have improved. I think Joe Milton is very specific, and I think he's sort of, injuries are treated day to day. I think he's sort of week to week. The Tennessee receiving core has been beat up and hasn't been where it was last year. And so I don't know if what Joe Milton is, I don't know if what is being asked of Joe Milton is necessarily, hey, be Hendon Hooker, let's trust you to bomb it deep. I think the offensive brain trust in Knoxville looks at him. It's not that he has limitations. There's like, let's play to his strengths and let's not try to force him to be Hendon Hooker. So I think he can be inaccurate. I think he can be frustrating if you're a Tennessee fan, but I don't think he is at the lows of where he was at Michigan. No.
It's an interesting matchup. It's an interesting matchup because of how I think you want to go at A&M. When we saw it last week with the Bama game and Jalen Milroe hitting some big pass plays, right? I'm not worried in the same way I was last year about Tennessee doing that to teams because of that pivot. They were a pretty good running team last year. This year, it seems like they've had to lean into it more because they don't quite have the same pop in the passing game. And that to me frightens me from taking Tennessee minus the points here, because I feel like the strength of this team is on the ground, and that's actually the strength of the A&M defense as well. That is not to say they won't try to take some deep shots. I think they will. Joe Milton, I would much prefer Joe Milton just air it out 80 yards in the air than throw a finesse ball over the middle. I much more confidence in him just unleashing the beast. But that's also not the strength of this offense in the early part here. And, they've got the injury now to Brew McCoy, so the receiving core is I don't want to say a shell of what it was before. I don't mean that, but it's not as potent, I don't think. I kept coming back to this feeling in the pit of my stomach that I think A&M's pretty good. They got their moments too. They're not perfect.
Yeah.
I think this is a close football game. I'm going to go A&M something like 27-24. I think A&M goes on the road and wins. Big road win for the Aggies in Neyland Stadium, because I just think they're a better team, frankly.
You're so disrespectful. I'm going to give you an out after my analysis to see if you want to change your mind, okay?
Oh, I'm still waiting for I thought that was the analysis.
No, you just asked me about Joe Milton.
Oh, well,
I didn't make a pick.
Go ahead. Did you find a killer stat? Did you find some sort of diamond in the statistical rough after Tennessee lost on the road to Florida and hasn't really played anyone otherwise?
This game in Gainesville? This game at the Swamp?
This game is not in the Swamp. Continue.
By the way, General Nealon went to Texas A&M. There's a fun little nugget. Two very good dogs, right? You've got the Coonhound at Tennessee, and Reveille, the beautiful, why am I blanking on the breed, Ty? This is your area of expertise. The collie? Is it a collie?
Yeah, it's a Lassie dog.
Collie's the breed name? Yes. Okay, beautiful dogs. So that's a good matchup. Maybe that's my fantasy thing this week. Cutaway dog shots with the Husky in Seattle, too.
We're going to add a fantasy thing segment at the end of this episode just to get it all out, because I've got a really good one that no one's picked up on yet.
That might be my fantasy thing. Dog cutaway shots. Okay, Tennessee is coming off of a bye. They run the ball well behind a very good offensive line. The defense has stepped up and gets to play against which quarterback? Max Johnson, big game, tough crowd on the road. Okay, just
Max
verifying here. Just verifying. This is where you're putting your American dollars. And we have Tennessee coming off of a bye. Tennessee scoring 40-plus points against, South Carolina, winning that game by 3 touchdowns. And Texas A&M coming off of a demoralizing loss in which they scored, 2 offensive second-half points? Not 1. Was it 2 second-half points? You can look this up.
I believe
Verify.
so.
Fact check.
Yeah.
And coaching malpractice, it seemed, with some of Jimbo Fisher's short yardage calls. So if you think this game is going to be relatively close, you're saying, I believe in Jimbo. I believe in Max Johnson. I believe in this offensive line. You also believe in their defensive line and getting stops against Tennessee. I don't know. I think Knoxville's a tough place to go. I included this in a big dog tie, by the way, because I think whoever loses this game, the emotional outbursts online are going to be très magnifique.
Oh my God.
These are 2 emotional fan bases.
Oh my
Everybody
God.
has an emotional fan base. But, yeah, man, if you're Tennessee, you're already sort of, we lost to Florida. This Florida. Of all Floridas, we lost to this Florida. If you're A&M, driver's seat to beat Alabama. We lost to Bama. We lost to 56th ranked points per drive offense, Alabama. The 1 year at home, we're like, we can beat Bama. We can beat Bama. And they lose, and now they go to Tennessee. Situationally, I think it's a no-brainer. Give me the points. Or I'm going to give those points to Tennessee.
The points.
Yeah.
Wow, look at you.
Rocky
Okay.
top.
3.5. 3.5 is too many. I can see Tennessee
many?
winning. I can see Tennessee winning for all the reasons that you described and still winning 27-20.
I have the image seared into my brain. I don't dislike Max Johnson personally. I have no reason to dislike him. But he is waiting and waiting as he's getting sacked, as he's going down. All right, now I'm going to throw it.
Every ball
that's
is
the
late.
problem.
Every ball is late from Max Johnson. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the worry.
I don't blame you. And I am worried a little bit about the Jimbo Fisher shrinkage situation again that we discussed
Of course.
on the last
Do I have that
episode.
sound at the ready? Is
I
it
don't know.
this?
I don't know if you do.
No, not that one.
Shrinkage.
Yes,
Yeah.
significant shrinkage.